Hey everyone, Ultraviolent 4 here, and you are joining me for a new adventure of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. We're going to be doing something a little bit different this time. We're going to be at least heading out with the aim of doing a 15 rune game, and in fact a 15 rune mage. The species we're going to be playing this time is a Centaur, which interestingly to me is in the intermediate category. Centaurs are if you use a bow, because they're fast, they're pretty tanky, and they're amazing with bows. So if you do that, I'd say they're one of the strongest species in Crawl, which is why it's interesting to me that they're, whoops, completely quit out. They're in the intermediate category. Just wanted to look at it again, because we've got, I don't know, maybe if you've never figured out what kiting is, as in you just walk away from things. Anyway, so Centaur, and if you're just looking for a Centaur win, pick a Centaur Hunter or Centaur Arcane Marksman so they start with a bow, and just run away from things because you're fast and it's really, really strong. Also, probably the best way to win a Centaur that's not one of those two is to just pick up the first bow you find and then start doing that. But we're going to try to be a good mage. We're going to play with mage conduct. I'm going to play an Air Elementalist. Centaur's probably not the first species you think of when you say mage, but I'd find it pretty easy to play a bow Centaur, so I'd like to do something that's a bit more interesting than that. Alright, let's have a look. What's a Centaur? We have hooves in place of feet. It means we can't wear boots, but we do get an auxiliary kick attack. Like a Naga, you have a poorly shaped body, so your base AC is halved, and like a Naga, you wear a barding, but it's a Centaur barding. The way that this usually plays out is that when you're playing a Naga, you find a whole bunch of Centaur bardings, and when you're playing a Centaur, you find a whole bunch of Naga bardings. That's just life. Unlike Nagas, however, who are slow, Centaurs are very fast. You can run away from most enemies in the game, which is extremely useful because anything you see that's dangerous, if you can't fight it, you just leave. You also start off with +3 AC, which is part of why Centaurs are really strong in the early game. That, and they are a +10 HP race, so they're pretty tanky. It didn't say it here, but for the purposes of shields, Centaurs are considered a large race, so they do get to use shields with less skill. That's not something that I normally get to see because it's so easy just to pick up a bow, which is a two-handed weapon on a Naga. I keep mixing them. On a Centaur, so I don't normally use shields. Let's check out our starting book, the Book of Air. We start off with Shock, which is a Conjuration and an air spell. Where'd it go? Yeah. Okay, so this is a full screen spell, and it bounces. So if you set it up properly, I'll demonstrate it as we go. You get to double zap off walls, so you can hit enemies with it twice. I think it's a good and a bad level 1 spell. When you can double zap things, it's really powerful. It's also good because it ignores AC. Not that most early game characters have much AC anyway, but still. But I think it's also bad because it misses a lot. So we start off with 3 magic points. As a Centaur, we can always run away from things to regain our mana, but if there's Venom Mage too, but if there's a spell where you just fire your shock 3 times, miss every time, now you're out of mana and you just die, it's probably Air Mage. You also start off with Swiftness in your book, which as a Centaur is probably not something you really need because you're already faster than everything. Static Discharge, we'll get to these other ones in a sec, but basically, as you might expect, your your air starting book has a bunch of air spells in it. Let's look at our skills. Alright. Centaur is extremely bad at stealth. Let's immediately turn that off. But I'm having a look at the magic aptitudes here. -3 spellcasting aptitude is pretty bad. It means that we're going to struggle with getting spell levels up, as well as getting more mana. So it's probably something we're going to have to train for the whole game. Or at least, not the whole game if we're going 15 runes, because we'll probably get heaps of spellcasting. But for quite a while. They're also pretty bad at armor and dodging. Shield's bad too, but again, you don't need that as much skill as a normal shield. This is where they shine, the ranged area. Bows especially, but also all of them really, even throwing. Okay, so I think we're going to turn fighting on, because I do like to have some form of defenses. We're going to leave spellcasting on. Conjurations as well, because that helps our shock power. But we're going to focus air magic, because that's going to be... let's see, in our book. Conjurations also on static discharge and lightning bolt. Okay, I don't mind focusing conjurations for a bit. Airstrike is not, but it's going to be a little while before we use that. Okay, so that's our skills, that's our species, that's our backgrounds. Turn off dodging. Fighting, spellcasting, conjurations, and magic. Yep, that's good. This is an interesting start because you have to kill the mushrooms. Yeah, if you didn't realize you could do that, you'd probably think you were trapped here and you actually lost, but you didn't. One other thing I'm going to show you is that if you hit your tilde button, and this is really good for playing mages, so you don't have to manually cast every spell, you can hit the macro button. It lets you put an input key, and then you can set a little macro. The first thing I want to do is just clear my macros from previous games. I don't think there's a button that clears everything. Okay, so we hit tilde. If you don't know what that is, it's the key under escape. Shift in that key, so it looks like this. Okay, so we go tilde M, and good keys for macros 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, F1, F2, F3, F4. Other keys you don't normally use, like S, can be pretty good too. I'm going to pick that same key. Normally that does repeat previous actions, so you maybe don't want to use that one, but I'm very used to it by now. And I'm going to go ZA dot. The dot counts as enter, so when we do that, we're saying Z for cast a spell, A for shock, and then dot to fire it at the nearest target. Your auto targeter will try to double zap things, but it's not guaranteed to do it. So let's have a look. If we hit ZA, we get full screen, as we said. There's no wall here, so we can't double zap. But if we hit our macro, it's just going to automatically... We failed it. Wow, the 12% fail. Oh man, there's a... Fortunately, they can't run over deep water, but they're killing the mushrooms. This is terrifying. Jackals as your first enemy when you're a caster is terrifying. It's not quite as bad for a centaur because you're faster than them, but for anything else, they come in packs, so you probably don't have enough max mana to deal with them. They hit pretty hard and they're fast, so you can't run. I'm gonna guess that leopard geckos can swim. And we know that, well, this got hurt. Maybe the jackal got sick of fighting us. But this is horrendous, this start. Like, trapped in here, there are all these enemies coming at us, including a jackal pack. There's a leopard that's going to swim at us from this side. Let's see, we can ask the bot. So if you have the bot, you can give it queries. If you don't have the bot and you want it, probably the easiest way to do it is just spectate the game of the person on your server who has the most viewers, spectators they're called, and they'll probably have beam. And then you give it the command !subscribe, and then it will come to your games. But if you do an @ and then question marks, you can query the stats of monsters. So this will tell us maybe they can't swim. Okay, it looks like they can't. Oh, no, that lied. They can. They can swim. Okay. Oh no, they can't, but they can. They can cling onto walls, I think, is what they're doing there. Doesn't say that in their description. So if it's clinging onto walls, can it get to us? I think it maybe can't. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it can, because it got on this tile. Ah, clever. Okay, well the others can't. Well, the gecko is really scary, and they see we missed. They hit for 5 damage, where we've got 14 max, and we can't really get out of here unless we kill this mushroom, which, as we're attacking it with our clumsy fists that we have no unarmed training for, the gecko's gonna be hitting us. So we're gonna have to hope our next 2 kill it. Can't double zap it anywhere in here. Yeah, okay, so the first one missed, the second one miscast. We may as well at least get some value out of it. We miscast it again. Oh man. And he hit us for most of our health. he bit us twice in one turn there. Alright. So we've cast, I think, shock 4 times now. And we've miscast 3 of them at a 12% failure. So we're going to need to run. The problem is we can't really run from this guy. Because we've got this start where we're boxed in. Well, all we can do is try to punch our way out. We did get it. Okay, so now we start running. Okay. What a nightmare. What a nightmare start. If you were anything but a centaur, I think this start would have just killed you. Because these leopard geckos, they're fast as well. You can't run from them as a normal character. So you would have been trapped in your starting room. The gecko would have just run you down. Well, it would have just killed you, and if you tried to run, you would have been dead, because you can't run from jackals either. We might still die, but we can kind of play the great escape, and then we can... I kind of don't want to run around too crazy, because I don't want the whole level chasing me. And we also can get trapped, but if we're in a hallway, we can get trapped between these monsters and any new ones we find. So the cool thing about Lightning Bolt is that we'll go through all these dudes. So we're going to try to stay out of melee with them. Oh man, this just gets better and better. Alright. We are faster than the jackal, pretty sure. Alright, that's what I'm talking about, getting trapped. So we need to do our best to not get pinned between things. Alright, here we go. Here's a super value. So you see, if I targeted that square, how it went bright yellow, we could double zap the leopard gecko, or because we're bouncing it off the wall, or we could just zap all of these dudes. That's probably better. Okay, don't want to take shots though. I don't mind from a rat. Oh man, what a start. Showcasing the Centaur Air Mage. Oh, I probably shouldn't have picked this way. This is absurd. Alright, so as much as possible, I'm going to try to stay here. I'm going to run around these sorts of pillars, these little dungeon features. If I'm just going to zap the jackal, I may as well double zap him. Did not kill though. Okay, I'm giving some things opportunities to hit me, but we'd have to get unlucky to die as this is happening. Whoop. Whoop, don't get trapped. Alright, good. We went to level 2. I'm trying to, as much as, oh, don't get hit, as possible to get the jackal, because he's much faster than the others. So once he's dead, we can kite much more easily. Oh, nearly getting trapped again. Double zap him. Alright, we did it. I mean, we did it. Our crazy start's still not over. But at least we... Oh, wait, no, it's a whole new Jackal pack. Never mind. Let's go again. Yeah, this start would be actually impossible if you were any normal air mage. Like, there's just no way. Having a first enemy Jackal pack will kill you as a mage. Having several first enemy Jackal packs... we're not really out of the woods yet either. Okay, I'm gonna run around this major pillar here. That's gonna be our plan. I'm gonna try to zap all 3 jackals. Alright, 1 down. Okay, so we get to zap both jackals and get a double zap. That's pretty sweet. And yeah, this is why, well, it's how our human wanderer died, but a lot of experienced crawl players will tell you that the early part of the game is by far the hardest. And we got lucky here that we had crazy speed. Because most characters, this bonkers start would not have been able to do anything. You would have had no tools. You would have used your shocks in the beginning, miscast 3 of the first 4 as the leopard gecko swims over to you or clings over the wall to you. Trying to get a good double zap on him that doesn't also hit me. Oh, we've got more enemies turning up. I should be careful not to let the kobold with a short sword hit us because he could actually nearly kill us. He can do 10 damage with a max roll, I think. Alright. Maybe Jackal's down now. We've got even more dudes coming. You can see. Ooh, don't want the club guy to hit us either. He can do up to 9 damage. We've spent 440 turns now on the run. We have not had a chance to rest yet. And now that it's one enemy, hey, we finally did it. Just using my macro to fire that. Okay, so we made it to level 2 in all this. Used to have repel missiles as an Air Elementalist, no more. Only swiftness. That's pretty useful as a pseudo haste on a 10 speed character, but I think as a Centaur we're so fast there's not much point. So we're going to wait till level 3 to learn static discharge. This glowing whip is most likely to just be cursed, but we don't really mind checking because we're going to use our spells. So maybe this is a whip of a lek and we get super lucky, or maybe it's cursed and minus, in which case we don't really care. So I don't mind trying it. If +1 anti-magic, okay, that's actually really bad for us. Anti-magic has the effect of lowering your mana, so it takes us to 1. So no, we can't use that. Cool. Let's actually play the game now. Now that our insane start's over. Alright, all these scrolls we're picking up, I'm not going to read them until we at least get doubles, because we have no idea what they are. Once we start getting doubles, it probably indicates identify or remove curse. The same thing goes as well for that magical dagger. I'm going to try to zap both. This is where, when you want to set up actually shooting multiple enemies or making sure you have double zaps, you probably don't want to use the macro. But when it's just like this now, you can. It will try to double zap, but it's not... Oh, okay, he got shafted. It's not super intelligent. Alright, let's double zap this dude. Like that. The game didn't want to until I actually made sure it was going to. We're going to be picking in every time. Particularly on a Centaur, you never ever will get in on your random level up stats every 3 levels. So you want to be getting as much as possible. You probably want int anyway. Whenever you're casting spells, int is by far the most valuable stat for you. Let's check this dagger. It's a dagger of Holy Wrath. That's fine to be carrying. And we've finally done our D1. Alright. So I said at level 3 we'd learn Static Discharge. That is now. I'm going to put that on maybe S. I'm going to make a macro for it. So ZS. In this case, you don't need a dot. So, because Static Discharge just goes, it's not targeted. If it's not a targeted spell, you don't want dot in your macro, because that counts as wait a turn. Yeah, you don't want to be waiting a turn every time you cast a spell. Alright, so Static Discharge. It releases electrical currents against those next to the caster. These may arc to adjacent creatures or back to the caster. It deals reduced damage when arcing to the caster and bypasses any armor the target may have. So this spell is not... Keep accidentally turning my number lock, hitting my number lock key. The spell is not great if you're a low HP race. If you're someone like a deep elf, air elementalist, it's probably going to make you a little bit uneasy to use Static Discharge because it hurts you. But on something that's a bit more tanky, like our Centaur, it's pretty good to have. Ideally we won't use it that much because we'd rather just use our speed to run away from things, kite it, and hit them with shock. But for some enemies that are faster than you, Black Mambas are one I can think of off the top of my head, and they get next to you, you're better off just killing them. Okay, I'm gonna check this leather armor. It might not even give us extra AC because it gets halved. So we're 4 and 9 in terms of AC and EV. This is, we're not disrobed yet. He has a dagger of flaming. We're gonna check that out because maybe it's a +3 dagger. It actually is exactly a +3 dagger. Amazing. Alright. Well, there you go. Alright, the leather armor. So we're 4 and 9. Also 4 and 9 and hurts our spell casting, so no. We want to stay in a rogue. And there's some cockatoos going absolutely nuts in my backyard right now, it sounds like. Alright, on to D2. Okay, worms hit really hard, but, well, I was going to say they're slow so you can kite them, but the thing is, we're fast anyway, so even if they weren't slow we could still kite them. Because they regen really fast, unless we double zap, we probably got no chance of killing one. Let's see if we can set up a double zap. We want to be, the end of hallways is usually the best time to do it. Although I don't know if these ones work. Yeah, they do. Oh, no, not really. Because if there's a wall here, it will bounce back up, but this one's going to bounce out. So no, that doesn't work. What about over here somewhere? The next square we should be able to get. Yep. Oh, no. Okay, we can get him there. That will also hit us though. Okay, there we go. That's what we want. Oh, I didn't mean to fire it. Whoops. Okay. We can take 12 is the max damage of one of those guys. Two scrolls. We're gonna get on the stair just in case that's teleport, but I'm gonna read that. It's ID. Alright, well we didn't have any potions, so maybe I wanted to wait on that. Well, I guess we ID another scroll. Enchant armor. Okay. Not going to use that. Just this plain robe is not amazing to enchant. And then we don't have any other helmets or anything like that. Ooh. We're dying to this guy. That's a glowing sling though. Should pick that up. Does that violate our mage conduct? I don't know. Slings are really, really good in the early game. I think it's very likely to be cursed though as a glowing hunting sling. And I kind of like having our... we dropped it. Well, we did briefly have a dagger of flaming till we threw it on the ground. Okay, well, I like having the dagger of flaming, so I think we will hold off on the sling. But slings in the early game are so good. Well, fine, we'll pick up the sling bullets. If you're gonna do that to us, game. Let's see. Curse -1, okay. So, rip the +3 dagger dream. That's okay. As I was saying before, we're relying on our spells. But yeah, that's basically, you can win the game with a sling and a centaur. You have a +1 sling aptitude. You're fast, so you can kite things forever. And, whoa, the double worm. Yeah, you can kite things forever, so even if you're only doing small amounts of damage with a sling, you can still basically do infinite with it. So yeah, I mean, we could probably do a whole 3-ring game just using shock as a centaur. Same thing, because you can run away from stuff and just cast it forever. And shock is one of the most long-lasting level 1 spells because it's elect damage, so it partially ignores AC of targets. So even in Zot, you can be using shock if you really want to. I have done that. In one of the tournaments, I might have done this twice. I played a Fielded Air Elementalist of Nemlex, where I used shock for basically the whole game. Because I never found any other spells that I wanted to use. This was before they put Airstrike in the Air Elementalist book, which I think makes the background quite a lot stronger because it gives you a sort of more mid-game power spell. I don't know, we'll talk about that a little bit. We are level 4, aren't we? No, but we don't have spell levels anyway. So it's going to be a little while before we can use Airstrike. Let's find that worm. It represents good XP for us. Okay, I don't care that much. Let's go down. Oh, there he is. Good. Reach level 4. Yeah. So it's going to be a little while until we can learn Airstrike. So we're going to keep this training. And probably actually, I think we're going to have to use shock a lot anyway. Because with our -3 spellcasting, we have such a low max mana. So if you consider that Airstrike is a level 4 spell, each time we cast it, we're pretty much out of mana immediately. Double zap you. Yeah. Alright, we've got an amulet. Definitely, that's super dangerous to try on without remove curse. But we've got all these identify scrolls. So I don't mind blowing one. First of all, let's do the potion. That's leak. Interesting. It gives you extra AC and R poison, but means you can't run, which is a Centaur strength. But I guess against something like an early Killer Bee pack, that's pretty useful. It's also ID the amulet. It's a +5 amulet of reflection. Okay. Take the free 5 shield. Here's a Crimson Imp. I wonder if we have the means to kill him. Maybe with double zaps. they regen really fast and they're really evasive. So I don't know, I don't see this happening. D3 is really early for a Crimson Imp. Not that it's a danger to us, but they're just really annoying. Okay. We'll go up and get our mana back. We can try again. If we get lucky with double zaps, I think maybe we could kill this guy. Also, if we had airstrike, we probably could. Because it does extra damage to flying enemies, and he is one. I want you to be on the wall. Ooh, we nearly got him. Actually, oh no, this is Cursed Stone. I was gonna say we have a weapon of Holy Wrath. Holy Wrath weapons would do extra damage to him because he's a demon. Okay, so we've just done what's called imp parking. You take the Crimson Imp up a floor, he blinks away, you just leave. I know he's parked on D2. He's a pain to deal with, so we just leave him. I want to check this hatch. Maybe we're going to see the imp again. No. Oh, there he is. Let's have another go. Maybe we'll get lucky. I don't mind shooting myself once. No. What if maybe we could kill him with Static Discharge. Let's have one more go. No. And our max mana is so low that we only get 2 attempts and then we're out of mana. Oh, we tried. It's not a big deal. Fighting to 2. Is that higher than our spellcasting? It is. Isn't it sad when your Air Elementalist trains fighting faster than spellcasting? Oh well. A wand, that's super useful. Was not a great one though. I mean, flame's still fine, but if you get an early hex wand or an early wand of acid or ice blast, it can carry you through these early parts of the game. Yeah, flaming's not that special. I don't think it's worth IDing. Dagger of Draining. We should check that out eventually. If we ever get rid of this Cursed Sling. We've got another 2 of something, so we stand on the stair and let's read a 2. It's teleport, so we go back upstairs. Oh yeah, hey imp. We're gonna have another attempt. Because they blink around, it's so hard to just get all double zaps on them. And then when you try to set up the next one, they're already healed. Yeah, it's not happening. We need another level for airstrike, and then maybe we could kill him. Okay, bunch of potions, so we're gonna use our identify scrolls on those. Flight and might. That is a lot of identify scrolls. Okay, we saw Wu Jian and Shining One, both of which are not great gods if you're playing mage gaming, as in playing caster conduct. This kind of pains me a little bit to do because it's such a poor misconception of people that in order to win you have to, well, it's not in order to win, but if you're going to be a mage you have to play a mage. But really, if you want to win, you can use whatever you find in the dungeon, because really a background is a start. It's a beginning, it sets you on a path, but you're playing a roguelike where your dungeons are randomly generated. So you don't know what you're going to find. So who knows how your plan might change. Anyway, we're being a caster. We're not casting, we're not going to use weapons. We're going to be a good caster. There was a ring mail. Man, our spell failure is still so high, even with all our training. We are partially drained. Let's check it out though. We go to 5-8. Our shot goes to 19% to fail. This was 4 and 9. Yeah, it's not really worth it. That's our strangely shaped body, making it not that worthwhile to increase our armor. Here's an ogre. On D4 would normally be extremely terrifying, but we're fast, so we can just kite him forever. Can we kite hounds? I'm not sure about that. Here's how you find out. So we go query our hound. It tells us hound has speed 15. Okay. So it works in inverse ways. So your monsters get described to you in terms of speed, but you get a movement delay. So you have to break out your calculator and do a little bit of maths. So you see here in brackets here, we cover, it takes us 0.7 of a turn to move. So a turn is usually considered 10 aughts. So we're moving at 7 aughts per move. An aught is an arbitrary unit of time. So a monster that's speed 15, I think he was, is moving, he's moving, well, it doesn't work that way. Basically every turn he'll move 1.5. Yep, that's how it works. So yeah, you have to do a bit of maths. Well, no, not really, because you can just divide that. I don't know, I'm confusing myself. Okay, so basically, where you can convert it from one to the other. So we're moving at 0.7 per turn, per tile, which means if you convert that to speed, it's speed 14. So we're actually slower than this. We're 14, he's 15. Yep. So every one normal turn, which is 10 aughts, we move 1.4, speed 14. And every one turn, he'll move 1.5, speed 15. Okay, there you go. That makes sense. So we can't kite this guy. And he's kind of dangerous. We want to try to double zap him to make sure that we don't just use all our mana. Although we're actually just dying to him. Maybe this would be a good argument for swiftness. Okay, we got him on a double zap spot here. Okay, we got him. And now we run from the ogre. Can we get them both? No. Okay, ogre's down. This guy is now not too much of a concern. Good. Okay, Scorpion would be normally again be very scary. Also, Orc Wizards are very scary because they can hex us if we XP them. Okay, this guy doesn't have it in his book, but if he had Confuse, he'd probably have a very high chance to get us. I want to try to line up. Oh, that might have been it. A zap for both. No, they won't get in a row. I gotta be careful that I don't run into unexplored territory. Ow, it hurts. Because I don't want to get pinned, like in the early game, we don't want to get pinned between new monsters coming out of the fog and these guys. Because the Scorpion does a lot of poison damage, so if we actually allow it to hit us, more int, there's a good chance that we just get poisoned to death. Alright. I think we learn Airstrike, but we're probably not going to use it for a little while. Okay, the way that I change the spell letters is by using =S. If you do equals, you can adjust your items, spells, and abilities, the letters they're on. That's also really useful because pressing B all the time for airstrike is really annoying, whereas if I put it on X, so it's much closer to the Z key. But yeah, a level 4 spell when you've only got 9 max MP. Do not want. Ooh, okay, the Orc Wizard didn't see us. We want to rest up and get our mana back before we fight that guy. Okay. It's so many identify scrolls. This would have been a really rough D4 if you weren't fast like this. We've seen 2 Scorpions, 2 Orc Wizards so far, and 2 Ogres. Let's identify this ring. We still don't have Remove Curse. It's protection from magic. That's really good. It means we hopefully not going to get hexed by the Orc Wizards then. Ran out of mana. It's probably going to be a bit of a theme. Doubles ups. Good. Okay. We're afraid of the wizard a little bit. Sorry, the priest. Can hex us. Not hex. Can smite us for up to 17 damage. But we have 51 HP, which is really quite high. Okay, got him. Can we zap everyone? The value. Okay. These guys have polearms, so you've got to remember that, yeah, when we're kiting, trident and piercing, we'll pick that up. Again, we still don't have Remove Curse, but polearms are really good for Centaurs. Really good for anything that can kite, because you can still hit things without taking any hits back. If you're always 1 tile away, you then get them, you hit them, and then you continue to walk away. You kite, basically. Confuse is only at a 15% chance. Now we have a ring of protection from magic. Nice. There's something I wanted to do. No. All these scrolls are still singles. Oh yes, I do remember. I was thinking that I might learn swiftness. This hurts a lot. Can't really get a good doubles up off on him. So I think we've been slowed. This is terrifying. We do have 2 scrolls of teleportation. That might be worth it, because the worker ant is going to run us down now that we're slowed. How fast is a worker ant? Speed 12. So normally we would be able to run away from these, but we can't when slowed. We're kind of out of mana, and that guy's going to poison us. We do have curing though, and leg. I don't love this. Okay, he's not hasted. If our slow runs out, yeah, let's just go back upstairs. I think we're okay. Okay, our slows run out, so good. We can now kite the ant. That was maybe... If I didn't have curing, I would not have done that. That was the only way that... Oh! Failure to run. Yeah, curing was the only thing that made that possible, because even if the ant hit us there and poisoned us, we'd still be able to cure out of it. Okay, lightning bolt we're definitely not learning for a while, and I think this has taught me that we should get... No, we don't need swiftness. I'm gonna be stubborn. Alright, D5. Maybe, arguably we should have done this on the floor above, but I like to read my scrolls once temple becomes findable. I'm someone who doesn't mind wasting their scrolls to find out what they are. And the reason I wait for D4 is because temple can start showing up there. So if you get magic mapping, you find out. But we're going to do it on the start of D5. Do it on a stair in case you get noise, just like that. Let's pick a new stair. Hello, jackals. I mean, we don't need to be on a stair now, because we've got teleport and noise, which are the two that you're concerned about. Maybe if we're really lucky, we'll get remove curse. There it is. Okay. Goodbye hunting sling. Let's try dagger of draining is +1. Trying to piercing is a +0. Probably the best one of these is the dagger of draining. It's a little bit lower enchantment than the flaming weapon, but draining is really strong. Particularly in the early game. This might be a good time to try a static discharge. No, we didn't have enough mana to spam it. Okay, thank you, shock. Another one. Oh boy, who has the acid? Who had the acid then? The Orc Priest has a wand of acid. Okay, we need to extra stare out. You can see there that nearly one-shots us. Alright, so yeah, we could definitely get two-shot by that. We need to avoid that Orc Priest with a wand of acid. Jeez. Is that him? I can start shooting him from here. I don't remember if it was. Yeah, he had a club, so this might be him. It probably is him. Also, we didn't get a force more, so yes, this is the same guy. We can start trying to zap him from here, because we can step around this corner, top right, diagonally upright, and he won't be able to see us anymore. Let's just do that. Okay, so now we can step right. In case he does acid us. Okay, he did not. Mercy. Let's claim that wand of acid. That's a really strong thing to have. And I want to identify it. 3, okay. Let's go to the other scrolls. Recharging, excellent. Go straight on the acid one. So we've got 8 charges of that now. Oh, he blinked. So we killed him. This guy is durable, so we ran out of shocks. And magic to 5. That is so many orcs. We can... Oh, what was that zap? That was a pretty sick double zap. And it gets all the other stuff too. That's an amazing zap. Good. Perfectly ran out of mana. Just as they all died. There's a centaur. Not one we can kite. So we want to get around a corner like this, and then I guess we double zap him. Okay. In melee he's much less dangerous because he's not gonna shoot his bow. So yeah, if you were just trying to get a Centaur Air Elementalist win, you would pick up this short bow and you would use your +3 aptitude for bows, and you would just bow everything. But we're not doing that, because that's not what Air Elementalists do. They cast air spells. Identify these new potions. Degen and Heal Wounds. Heal Wounds is amazing. It's basically like a reset the fight sort of thing. Alright, so this is the perfect double zap where... So I guess the range on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe it's 6. No, I guess zapping, I don't know. Anyway, when you're double zapping, you get a range of 6. He just had a plain robe. Quite often block has a magical one. I noticed there is a glowing robe though that we missed. It's probably on one of the orc wizards. So let's see what this is. Curse -1, great. Okay, well we need to wait for another remove curse, but that's really sad. Could have been really cool, but no. found a lot of wands though. We're gonna identify this one. Okay. There's magic mapping. Right as the floor is basically done. Arguably I should have waited a bit to get onto this floor. We're also not going to try this ring until we get remove curse, because it could be cursed teleportation or something like that. Okay. Gotta watch out, the Orc Warrior has a halberd, so he'll be able to hit us from range. I'm kind of doing this because if he hits us really hard, we can just walk back up the stairs. But yeah, we were getting double zaps on where he was standing, so I felt like it was worth just trying to kill him with double zaps if we had a guaranteed way to run away. Another one. Oh, there's suddenly a Centaur behind us. Did not see us though, thankfully. This is really bad. If we run into new monsters over here, okay, well we need to start running. But if we get sandwiched between, okay, we didn't. Oh, that was lucky. That could have gone really poorly. If we were forced to run and we got trapped between those two guys, or that guy and something else. This is where using my macro is not giving me the double zap, but if I do it manually, I can have it. Come here. Oh man, what a player. He's mited too. Wow, what a guy. ID the potion. Yeah. Okay, for the record, we didn't see any early ones, but as a Centaur, you can run from adders. Can confirm. They're 13 speed and you are 14, which is also part of why Centaurs are such a strong race in the early game, because you don't even die to adders. And if you are a species that doesn't die to adders, you are very strong. Oh no. Oh no. I think we could either teleport or fear. Fear is more valuable than teleport, but we only have 2 teleports. I don't think there's any way we fight the Orc Warrior that's safe. Especially if the jelly is corroding us. I guess we teleport. Goodbye. That's always the danger. We're corrode -4, but fortunately that we take extra damage, but that doesn't hamper our... Man, so many halberd Orc Warriors on this floor. What's going on? Okay, I think 6 Conjurations might be enough for now. We'd ultimately like to use Airstrike a fair bit, and Airstrike is just air. So I think we stop Conjurations. Unless we find other spellbooks that have Conjurations. Yeah, I think I like just being air magic for the moment. Okay, well, we can just use our spells, but we have a Dagger of Holy Wrath that we could use. Yeah. Let's try it. Kind of works. Actually, maybe what we could have done to... Yeah, we probably could have done that. To save our teleport scroll, I'd say we could have used Wand of Acid and or Ice Blast to just blow up that Orc Warrior. But yeah, I don't mind what we did. Nope. Nope, we're getting trapped again. Yep, and again. Alright, let's not randomly die to taking halberd warrior shots. I think we just go up and heal. Good. Pick a new stair. This is a very nasty D6 as well. Fortunately, Centaur life is a pretty easy life. That's why it's surprising to me that they're intermediate. Oh wow. Okay. D6 Hungry Ghost. Fortunately, we can just avoid losing all our food to him if we don't let him hit us. And actually, just for science, because ghosts are flying, you get your extra airstrike damage. So you can see here, the air twists around violently. Violently is the key word you're looking for there. So yeah, airstrike, pretty good spell. What is going on this floor? This is an Eye of Draining, and all our mana is drained. Let's use the Dagger of Draining. Can they? Yeah, they can be drained. There you go. Okay. We know there's still a Halberd Warrior running around, so I'm going to go Shift X, Control F to forget the floor. And we're going to find him. Not something you want to have just exploring around in case you ever have to come back up here. Oh, here's a glaive one. That's even scarier. Okay, Fashion of Slicing. Shift X, Control U undoes it. I think of it as forget and then undo. Fashion's not a bad, or a long blade rather, is not a bad weapon to carry around as a mage with no weapon skill, because you get free riposte off it. Oh, okay. Welcome to D7. Here's a whole nother party of orcs. That's a Dagger of Flaming. Again, not that exciting. This might be a good Static Discharge. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. We're getting more mana now, so it's becoming more usable. And you get both of them. So if you have multiple adjacent things to you, which isn't really what you want as a mage or a centaur because you're fast, so you don't need to have things next to you. But if you do, Static Discharge is pretty strong. Could ID those rings. Even more Orc Warriors. This is just Orc City. Ooh, should not be getting hit by that Dire Flail. Let's bring him upstairs. Ah, yeah, it hurts so much. Okay, just checking. That's not a dead end, right? No. I should be making sure I'm 2 tiles away from him, because even at 1, if he random energies, he could catch us and hit us. So when we're 1 tile, we're kiting something that's 1 turn away from killing us. It should be 2 tiles if you want to be safe. Or if they have a polearm, it should be 3, and so on. Oh, the value. Shocks. I really like Shock as a spell. Maybe we just do a 15 rune Shock run. Okay, no Sergeant. He has a Buckler. We're gonna want that. Also, we're gonna not want to die to Nulls. Yeah, we can go down. We're pretty strong. Pretty strong in the sense that we have 75 HP. Not strong in the sense that we have only 3 AC. Alright, let's grab this trident. Or buckler, I mean, sorry. So, a buckler with the shield bonus only requires 2.4 skill, which is barely anything. We're going to focus that. Even at a -3 aptitude, 2.4 is nothing. And especially with our amulet of reflection that we have, that's really good value. Like that, we just reflected the net back at that null. Let's see if we can finish this Crimson Imp off with an airstrike. Yeah, because he's also flying. Oh, look at the value. I can't give up this position. The doubles that value is too strong. And yeah, I can't imagine doing this without a macro. Like I'm just going macro to fire my shocks. If you were sitting there going ZA, enter, ZA, enter, ZA, enter, you'd go loopy. Are we faster than this guy? Water Macassin, not sure. I think we maybe are. Double C. He's speed 14, so he's the same speed as us. We'll at least get him to a double zap position. Not there. Here? Yeah. Okay. Actually, let's just static discharge. We can just get rid of him. Our shields are already at 1. This guy is not fast. So we can just kite him all day. More nulls. Seems like there are themed floors. We had a couple of orc themed floors, and now we've got a null themed floor. Oh, the net. The double net. Oh, that's frog. Let's go airstrike. I'm gonna make a macro for that too. So it's ZX dot, because airstrike is a targeted one. And we ran out of mana, which is gonna be the story for airstrike. Also, let's not walk into the unknown. So we took a few shots there. We effectively lost some food, but otherwise we're gonna be running into the unknown. And we could have been trapped between the ghost and, well, who knows what else we'd find. Again, all these lovely amulets we don't really want to use without remove curse. Shields already to 2. If I'm gonna let that guy hit me, we should at least get into a double zap position. Okay, that's the... Alright, never mind, we're dying. That's the auto-targeter being silly there. And not actually going with the double zaps. Bring him up. Probably static discharge him. Yeah, there you go. It's pretty good when you're a Centaur and you're not worried about the little bit of damage that you take. Okay, let's go again. Yeah, it's really strong. Trident of Flaming. Check that out. Okay, it's better than the Trident of Piercing if we're gonna be polearming things. Hey, there's our temple. Okay, that's what I was looking for. I'm gonna make these, probably, these episodes will be more around an hour, because otherwise, if we play a 15 rune Centaur Air Elementalist at 40-minute episodes, could be a 20 episode series. So we're gonna wrap that one up here. If you join me in the next one, we'll pick our god, we'll try to find our lair, and yeah, it's going pretty okay after an insane start, an absolutely insane start that would have killed probably 99% of characters. You would have had to have been a Centaur or a Spriggan, I think anything else, and you just die in that start of that level. That was crazy. Anyway, see you later.